And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's been waiting and calmly and carefully. He is a former Super Bowl champion, not a big fan of the New England Patriots, but I always thought this guy was a world beater when it came to my New York Jets. We are now talking to former Saints, Dolphins, who we could care less that he played for, and former Patriots Super Bowl champion, defensive end, Rob Ninkovich. Rob, what is up, my friend?
What's up? I'm really, really mad that the Pats have another great quarterback.
Well, hold on one second. So,
I mean, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I know it's got to be tough. This season's got to be really tough for you. So you continue with what you were going to say.
well, let's be honest here. I'm a Jet fan. I also root on the Eagles. But being a Jet fan, there's a lot of hate, okay? There's a lot of hate for you. There's a lot of hate for a guy named Brady. There's a lot of hate for guys with the last name Gronk. There's a lot of hate with a guy named Julian Edelman. I can't stand the New England Patriots. I couldn't stand them then, and I can't stand them now. But, Rob, there's a funny story behind me and you. I was at one point doing my show in Foxwoods at K&M. You know K&M. You've signed autographs over there. Okay. And the day before I was doing my show, I was invited by my boy over there who runs the store to come and do our show and entertain the New England fans. Entertain them, and they kept booing me, and I gave away free stuff. They didn't care. I was wearing a New York Yankee hat. They couldn't stand me. I loved it. I absolutely love when Boston fans can't stand me. So we were there, and I got told that you were going to be there tomorrow. You were signing autographs, you and another player. And I was like, should I stay? And my partner, Mike, he was like telling me, like, we gotta go to the city. We got other things to do. You can't stay here. I don't want to interview them anyways. I'm a Giant fan. And, he's a Giant fan, and I'm a Jet fan. So it never happened. We never got a chance to meet you. So when Nathan told me he was going to get you on the show, I was like, well, everything crosses over. Everything has to cross one way or another. So now we have Mr. Rob Ninkovich. Now, listen, you used to kill the New York Jets. Absolutely kill them. And you know what I couldn't stand?
I wouldn't.
You killed them.
You know what I would say, though? When we played the Jets, they were one of the tougher teams to go up against because they were always very tough, very, very hard to go up against, and you felt it. So there's some games where your Monday, Tuesday are not so bad. Like, you're not that sore. You're not that. But when Rex Ryan had the Jets going, think about like 2009. Those were the games where I was so sore. And there are a few teams, historically, you're always going to be sore. It was the Steelers. It was the Jets. It was the Ravens. Those three teams, every time we played, you knew you were going to feel terrible the next 3 days after the game. So, there are other teams, on the other hand, you'd be like, I didn't play a game yesterday. But the Jets, I always have to tip my hat to Rex Ryan because I think he's a great coach. He's a guy that motivates and gets a team going.
Rob, let me tell you something. I was sore and I didn't even play in the game, okay? I was sore and I didn't even have to play the game. I was butthurt every single time. And the one time we beat you guys in the playoffs, all I heard was Bart Scott saying, "Can't wait." I'll never forget that take because I remember the week after against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I remember it. It makes me want to hurl. I don't even want to talk about that. Let's get off it.
Well, then you can't watch Fox. You don't want to watch Julian or Tom talk because you don't like them. You can't watch any football games on Fox on Sundays. ESPN, because every time they have Bart Scott on there as a segment, he says, "Can't wait" on ESPN. So you're kind of limited.
I don't watch any of that garbage anyways, first of all. And I like Julian Edelman.
I don't either.
I like Julian Edelman.
I like Julian too. Julian, annoying guys if you're a fan. Like he's one of them guys that you think, I probably could have done that if it longer and I stuck to it, right? He's one of them guys who are like, damn, I could have been a slot receiver in the NFL. I was tough and I lifted weights every day and I was just a little bit insane. Maybe I could have done it. White guy out there in the slot receiver just getting killed over the middle. But the most funny thing about Julian, and I don't know how the hell he didn't get in more fights, but every time he would catch, almost like flick it at you in like a real disrespectful way. You know, he kind of tossed it to you. In practice, it was so annoying. I've been in a couple fights with Julian, and he's not going to win because I'm very sure. But he is like that annoying, just would you shut up type guy. Like, stop being so annoying. But it worked out for him because he was a hell of a football player.
So he's a flea. Is that what you're saying? He's like a little flea that just, he's like a leech.
He's
he
just
bites,
annoying. Yeah.
sucks your blood.
I'll tell you a story. This is the year I retire. So I retire after the Atlanta game. I figured, I played 11 years in the league. What's 12, 13 years going to give me that I don't already have, as far as chips? If I had another one, yeah, it'd be great. But is it worth me smashing my head into a wall for another year, another 2 years? So I decided on my own terms. And that year that I'm out, Julian happens to have a little hiccup. He was suspended for the first 4 games of the year. So I'm helping him train a little bit, and I just retired. I could still have easily played. They were trying to get me to play actually, but I just said, I'm ready to go. But Julian was trying to get ready to come back, so he asked me, "Hey, could you put some pads on? Let's do some blocking and coverage and all this stuff." I said, "Yeah, I got all my stuff. I'll put my pads on." Bubble at BC, and it's like maybe the end of September. And I say, "All right, Jules, like, listen, the last concussion I had, I was in the Super Bowl, fresh here. Like, I don't want to get hit in the head. Like, I'm good for a while. I don't want to get hit in the head anymore. That's why I retired." Do you think he listened to me?
No.
The first play, it's like, "Oh, let's just do a little run. Like, oh, I'll try to stalk block you." I go hand on him. He blocks. He takes both my hands off, like chops them off, and goes like that. Bang! He hits me right with his temple. You little shit. So what I did is I said, "All right, let's do it again." All right. Fired me up. So I took him, I just gave him a big shot, and he threw his ass, and he looked at me, he's like, "Yeah, I should have done that. I should just go play. Might as well go play." He was one of the hardest workers. You gotta respect when guys are just that dedicated to constantly working at their craft. Like, he was so just over the top and a little bit crazy. I mean, I think you have to be crazy to play in the NFL. A little bit. You gotta have a little cuckoo, little craziness in you.
The only thing cuckoo is all the girls that Tom Brady hooked him up with.
I mean, you got to make sure you're in those situations. Hey, look at some of these guys. Cromartie, he's got like 9 kids. You got to be smart. You got to be careful. Things get tough.
He's trying to catch up to his former quarterback in Phillip Rivers.
How many does Phillip have? Like 10?
I thought it was like 16.
Yeah, but he adopted like 7 of them. He adopted 7 of them.
No, did you guys see Sean Alexander, the former running back? He has 12.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about that.
What?
He has 12.
Dude,
he just
if you have 12
one.
kids,
he
you
just
can make
had
it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you have 12 children, broke. Kids are
Rob,
expensive.
my new neighbor has 12 kids. They have like one of their cars is a Sprinter van.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't want that milk. Wouldn't want the milk bill going to Costco. I wouldn't want that.
We literally just talked about this. Their Costco, like every 2 weeks, has to be like $2,000.
Yeah. 12 kids. Listen, I have 3 kids.
I got 1.
I honestly wouldn't want any more kids. I mean, I have 3 kids, and I know they're expensive.
So yeah.
I don't have any kids, not yet. And I could only imagine how expensive they're going to be.
Oh, I thought
expensive.
Sean Alexander's only 12. It's 14. My bad.
That's
14 kids.
Dude,
you gotta.
I didn't realize that.
I don't know what you do with that. I think that's a tough retirement right there.
Well, think about the age, the age difference. Like, will the oldest one ever know like their youngest one? I mean, will they have a relationship?
I think it depends on if every kid is with the same mom, right? Because
I think some of them are.
Some of them are. I mean, look, if you look around the NFL, there's a bunch of kids. I mean, look at have more kids than touchdowns last year.
Yeah, pretty much. And now he's going to play in more games.
I think he had I think he had 4 touchdown catches and 5 kids last year. Something crazy.
Yeah.
Who had 5 kids?
Tyreek Hill.
Oh, my God. Tyreek Hill gets around, man. As well as his leg did.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch. That's tough right there.
I was just trying to be funny, okay?
He's going to be 32, 33 coming off an injury like that.
32, yeah.
32. And if you're a team, like you're going to give him league minimum and he's going to have to prove he's healthy. That's just
and you know,
I'm never going to count anybody out, but
I'll tell you who's going to give it to him. I give him a league minimum. It's going to be Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Kansas City's the Chiefs are going to give it to him, and he's going to go over there and he's going to win the Super Bowl.
Course.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
If you're a team, what's the worst that can happen if you give them a league minimum deal? You're just going to say, all right, we'll give you league minimum, and if you get back, oh my God, we got a home run here. If you're half of what you were, we're still going to be productive, and if you don't got it, well, that's it. Great effort.
So, Rob, let me ask you a question about that real quick. So if he gets league minimum and let's say like week 8 or whatever, he's done. Like he doesn't get paid anymore, right?
No, he's a vested veteran. So actually, I think if he's on the roster week 1, he gets his salary guaranteed.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting. And by
if
the
you're
way,
a vested.
By the way, I just want to let everybody know we are talking to former Saints, Dolphins, and Patriots Super Bowl champion, defensive end Rob Ninkovich. If you don't know who he is, well, then you don't know football. And if you're a Patriot fan, you definitely know who he is because he was part of those bad boy Patriots that you couldn't stand. I actually liked Vince Wilfork. I always liked him because he did these weird dances on the sidelines and he liked to play with his stomach. So I liked his personality, even though he was a Patriot. But that's the only guy I actually liked. And Darrelle Revis when he won a Super Bowl with you guys. That was
sure that was a crowning moment for you.
No, it wasn't a crowning moment. That was a hated moment for me. My favorite player went to the New England Patriots to win a Super Bowl. That made me sick to my stomach. I was sick. One of the greatest corners of all time goes over, and Tom Brady says the greatest corner he ever played against. The greatest. And he's playing with Tom Brady on the same team. Makes me sick.
You can thank Giants legend Russell Wilson for that one.
Makes me sick. Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick.
You know what's weird? You know what's weird about Revis was we always had this like when you're going against other teams, you don't really know them. You watch a lot of tape. You respect good players, but you don't know them on a personal level. And when Revis came to play with us, we all knew the aura of the Revis Island and how good he was, but you didn't really know the type of person. You didn't know because he's definitely a quiet person. He's not like an outgoing. He's not going to be somebody that you're going to hear from outside of the building. He's not really. I mean, we don't really hear much from him now. Like, right? He's kind of a quiet to himself guy. Yeah. But it was so weird how smooth he was. For example, if I had that was very fast and very good, I felt like fast. Like I was trying to do my best. Well, probably because I wasn't like running a 4.4. I was like running a 4.7, trying to be a guy that runs a 4.4. So maybe that's the reason why. But I'd always watch his tape and just be so how smooth he was. Smooth in all his movements because he almost anticipated where guys were going before they actually went there. And he would study on the routes of the receivers and any little giveaway that they would give before they were making their cut. Like, do they drag their inside foot before they cut out? You know, just little stuff like that. And he would always be able to just get in your hip pocket and run the route for you, which was so crazy to me that somebody can do that. And the really, really good ones, really rare ones are able to do that at a high level. You know, he was one of the biggest additions that we made in the offseason.
Yeah, and one of the sickest I've ever been. So thank you. Thank you for the New England Patriots for making me watch one of my favorite players win a Super Bowl with that team. That team. That team.
So transitioning to a guy that was with the Jets for a much shorter period of time, and that is Bill Belichick. We've had a lot of different Patriots guests on our show that have told us interesting stories about him, what he's like. Some being a drill sergeant, some saying, oh, he's a dry humor type of guy, but he'll have some random humor here and there off the field. What was he like for you, and do you have a good story of Bill Belichick?
So I think Bill, to me, was when I got there in 2009, he was already, I mean, they were already established as kind of the iconic Patriots when I got there. So I was literally just trying to do my best to find my own spot, find my own place. And, I think Bill, he saw something in me that was comparable. Early in my career, I was almost nervous to make a mistake. We were playing Jacksonville, and it was 2009. My story was crazy. I was cut. I tore my ACL. I was a long snapper. I went to New England. My whole career was probably on the almost over. I didn't know how much longer I'd have in the league. Gave me an opportunity to play on special teams, and I took that opportunity and I ran with it. And had a great first year here in 2009, but I only had a few reps on defense. In this particular game, we were playing Jacksonville, and I was just the mirror guy. So I was just the guy that was supposed to mirror the quarterback. And I go on the field for one play. It's third down. I hit the quarterback. He actually throws an interception. And I run off to the sideline, and Bill's like screaming at me at the top of his lungs, "What are you doing? What the F are you doing?" And I looked at him, and I only could think of one thing. And I said, like, Falcon Mirror. And we didn't even have Falcon in the playbook. Falcon was like from college, right? And he looks at me and he's like, "We don't even run Falcon." And I just remember looking at him like, I don't know why I just said that, but I think I did the right thing. So I just let him chew me out. And the next day after he watched the tape, he walked up to me. He goes, "Hey, on that play I was getting after you. You actually did exactly what you were supposed to do." And I said, and I didn't say anything back. I just said, "Yes, sir. I'll keep working." Because you can't say anything back. You can't say anything back to Bill. You're not going to win if you say anything back to any coach. So that's a lesson for you young players out there. If somebody's getting after you and they're yelling at you, you don't say, "But," you don't say, "But I did the right thing." You don't say anything. You just say, "Yes, sir. I'll do what you need. I'll get better." And there was one particular year, I think it was 2011 or 12. I made a play like tackle for like 2 yard gain, and I came off the field, and Bill was like, "What's up? What's wrong?" And I said, "Dude, that first play they got 2 yards." He's like, "Rob, if they gain 2 yards on first down, that's a win. That's a win." Because if they don't gain another yard, they're in third and long. So listen, if you can minimize the run plays to 2 yards, I'll always say good job. So it was like switching my mentality of like, oh, I need negative plays or I need plays for 0 gain, and thinking if it's first down and they only gain 2, I'm ahead of this thing. I'm okay. So it was like changing my mentality on how to play the game. And over the years, I learned so much from Bill, and so much about defense and so much about how offenses are trying to, it's all spacing, it's all numbers, route concepts. When the offense comes out on the field, you automatically know what's coming. And, I was able to make a lot of plays because I would look at the offense. I would alert, hey, this is going to be power. This is going to be an over, sail route, topper, double post, all these different plays. They're going to run a slam three. They're going to run a slam three, and I go steal it. I actually think I had a pick six against the Jets because they had a little slam three concept with LT.
I remember that. I remember that game, and I remember you dominated that game, by the way. You were dominating that game.
Yeah, I did. If they came out in 2-by-2, Dustin Keller was the number 2, split out. So I walked out on the number 2, and if 2 ran a vertical or a sit, then LT was coming out for a little hook route, like a little check down. So the second I felt Dustin go up, I just shot for the check down.
First of all, butt fumbler, Mr. Sanchez. And I don't want to get into the old New York Jets. I just want to talk about you, okay? Every time we get these New England Patriots on this show, the first team they want to attack is the Jets. Why? Because I'm a Jet guy.
Hey, Rob, you give Rob some credit. He said Rex Ryan made them soar.
By the way,
I did like Rex Ryan. And you know what? I would have loved to play for Rex Ryan. There were moments where I'd look at Rex Ryan, I'd listen to him talk, and I'm like, dude, this guy can get a team going. And I think he did with the Jets. I still think he should get a job. I think somebody should give him an opportunity. If you look at the head coaches around the league and how shitty some of them are, he should have an opportunity to go be a head coach. I mean, the NFL, if you look at it in general, everything is just not that sharp and precise. You got teams that look good one week, and then the next week they can't score a point, or they got 18 penalties in 2 games. It's just a lot of sloppy. If you really watch the games, it's a lot of sloppy, unorganized, badly coaching right now. So if you can have somewhat of a disciplined team and you can kind of push yourself to being in a winning position right now, it's wide open for you, because all the good teams that we thought were going to be good are bad. So did we think that the Ravens were going to be terrible? No. Did we think that Indianapolis was going to be great? No. Not at all.
I did.
So
I did.
I didn't think Indy would be 6-1.
100% that I thought Danny Dimes was for real. The Giants absolutely tossed him to the side, just like they did to Saquon. And I know Jabba has a question for you, but I'm going to tell you something. If you want to watch a documentary, when you get a chance, I don't know if you heard my take in the beginning of the show, go check out the Saquon documentary on Prime. Sensational take.
I'll have to check it out.
It's great. It's really great coverage by Prime and Saquon Barkley. Go ahead, Jabba.
No, I obviously you kind of talk some X and O's, but you brought up something that I'm interested in, because obviously being an athlete, like you have your game day preparation, you have game day, but I'm really interested, and you touched on a little bit, like some weeks you knew were going to be tougher than the others, but kind of take us down that like day after, whether depending on what day it is now after you play, like kind of obviously your body goes through whatever it is, but like how like do you manifest like getting back? Is it cold tanks? Is it time? Do you guys have practice? Like it's always interesting for me to see, because everybody's a little bit different of how you guys do it. Like, because we play every day, so it's a little bit different for us because we kind of got to manage all of it in one day. But you guys have, time in between. So do you guys have practice, film? Like, break that down for me, like the couple days afterwards.
Well, it really comes down to if you get out of a game clean. And when I say get out of a game clean, like you could get, banged up in 1 week. You have no injuries, but you're just sore. So there's certain games where you come out and you're playing football and you're hitting full grown men full speed. So you're going to always be sore. There's levels to the soreness. So, I can think back to, playing the Ravens in the playoffs, and it took me like a week to feel normal, right? And when I say like to feel normal, there are certain days where a Monday or Tuesday, I would have to go down my stairs one step at a time, like very gingerly, slow, hold on to the railing, make sure I'm not hurting myself, because literally your whole body it almost feels like you got ran over by something, which you did. So, that was certain aspects of it that you're trying to just fight through soreness, which is, think back on a certain like training camp day that you take a lot of cuts, right? You're like, damn, my midsection is really sore today, or my lats are sore, or my front arm is sore. And it just takes time for you to just get back to feeling okay. But then there's like certain instances where you get tweaked, or you get rolled up on, or you tear something. Like 1 year I tore my pec and my tricep in the same game. It sucked, but I had to play the next week. So the pec minor, so it wasn't the major. So I just dealt with it. I took a bunch of Indocin. Indocin is like something you live on if you play in the NFL. Yeah. So you take every day, which is like a very inflammatory.
A vitamin for us as pitchers.
Yeah. Indocin. So you take Indocin. It's good for anti-inflammatory. You take a Toradol shot. I don't know if you guys take Toradol shots, but I take 20 Toradol shots a year, because I would take 4 in the preseason, in the regular season, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So like 23 to 24 shots of Toradol, which Toradol is like taking a massive dose of ibuprofen, but it's like 8 times. You get in the hospital, or so, if you have an injury, they give you Toradol. So when I first got in the league, Toradol was a shot, and I would take it in my shoulder. You had to get grandfathered into that. So I always took the shot, and I took it in my shoulder because I thought it'd get closer to my heart, and I don't know, stupid stuff. But the problem with Toradol, blood's thin, so you feel great, you feel invincible. But tore my AC joint, I had Toradol, kept playing with it, and I kept hitting with it, and I felt fine. I woke up and couldn't move my arm. I was like, this is the most pain I've ever been in. I tried to tie my shoes really bad, and then you got to get through it for the whole week, and then you got to put a little plastic cup on it, then you put your pads on it. I tell everybody, hey, in practice, my left shoulder, I'm going to use my right shoulder, and then in the games, I'd take a Toradol, and then I wouldn't feel it. Certain games get you, so you could get an injury in a game that lasts for 2 to 3 weeks, and then in that time you're trying to recover, you're still getting beat up. So there's some years where you might go a whole year without getting really beat up and like dinged, like with an injury. And then there's other years where you just feel like every week you're getting something. And it's just, football's weird because it's, you roll the dice, you're in a pile or you're next to somebody and a guy gets leg whipped and you're standing there one foot to the left or right, you're fine. But if you're standing in the wrong spot, you're going to get rolled up on. So it's kind of crazy the way football works because there's a lot of injuries that are out of your control. And then there's playing fast, trying to make a play, and you're going to get hurt. That's the one thing about football. You're 100% guaranteed to get hurt. 100%. It doesn't matter if you play 10 snaps or 100 snaps, eventually you're going to get hurt.
We are talking to former Saints, Dolphins, and Super Bowl champion for the Patriots defensive end, Rob Ninkovich. Last question, and this is a long one for me because I remember these Patriot teams. I couldn't stand them. Okay, so I watched the Dynasty. I watched the 10-part Dynasty on Prime. It was sensational, very well put together. A lot of questions from that documentary that I had, and we haven't really had any Patriots on since I watched that documentary. I'm sure you've checked it out. And Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, at the tail end of Bill Belichick's time over there was a lot of yapping. And I know you were there at some parts of it. And I want to know your thoughts to the back end of that whole story between them two. And Tom Brady, what type of player is Tom Brady in the locker room? And what type of teammate is he outside of off the field and outside of the football field?
Well, to the first question, I'll say, Mr. Kraft, you watch that Dynasty, you see the progression of where he was at when he bought the team, where the whole team and organization was as an like their facilities, what the league thought of them. They were kind of the laughing stock of the NFL. They were bottom of the barrel. The team ownership wasn't great. They didn't spend any money on anybody or their facilities, or they didn't really want to be great. So I think the initial story of Mr. Kraft buying the team because he was a local kid, local guy that loved the Patriots. He was a real estate guy. He owned the parking lots first. All these different things went into him being able to buy the team. And then when he bought the team, he went to try and create greatness, right? They just put Bill Parcells in the Hall of Fame. Time heals all things. And, Parcells now is in his 80s, and, you heard him talk, and you heard the things that he said, and he wished he would have done stuff a little differently. That was right out of his mouth, And I think if you go back at any point in anyone's life, when you start to look back at the way you handled certain situations, you probably would have differently, knowing what you know now versus what you know then. And, I think that's the same with anytime you have success. There's always somebody how did we get here? Who's going to get all the looks and the credit? And that happens on football teams. That happens on baseball teams. High school football teams and high schools have these. With the 20 plus years of success, different relationship things that popped up. And I could think about being with my best friend for 20 years and I want to kill him. Like there's moments when you're around somebody that much every day for 20 years, you're going to have fights and you're going to have disagreements. That's just human encounters and human relationships. So I think with Bill and Mr. Kraft and the years that they had together, there were definitely their ups and downs. But there was so much success there, and there was so much good that came out of that relationship because Kraft wanted the best. He wanted the best coach. He went and got Bill. But with that, he gave up some of the power because Bill's going to say, I want this done a certain way, GM control, or I want to be able to say so on who we keep, who we don't, what's the cap, what's all these different things that Bill was able to do for such a long time that is so rare that a head coach is able to do that because Bill was literally the smartest coach, but he also was a great manager of the people in the building. He understood how to get the most out of each individual. Hey, maybe this guy I got to push a little bit differently. Maybe this guy I have to encourage a little bit. That's the greatness of Bill. He's able to figure you out like psychologically and push you. And he understood me on like, hey, that's not good enough. Like I was a negative enforcement motivator. So if you, I don't need a pat on my back. I need you to tell me how bad I suck, and I'll go out there and I'll play better. You know, like that's what I am as a player. But I think it was just the amount of time. You know, that documentary I think is a little strange in the success and the amount of championships and the amount of wins and all the things that the Patriots were able to do for that long is really never going to be replicated, in my opinion, because of the length. So to celebrate that and to really, you know, honor that I was a part of that and a part of those guys, you can't have the Patriots without Kraft. You couldn't have the dynasty without Bill, and you couldn't have all that without Tom. And it all works together. And if you want to change it any way you can, it doesn't work out. So that's just the way history. That's the way history looks back on it. You know, it was the greatest trio, ownership, head coach of all time. Maybe one day they'll or whoever they'll say, hey, I wish I would have handled that ending differently, but it is the way it is. And it ends great. You know, I think about, you know, my high school girlfriend. That didn't end well. Nothing ends great. I mean, really hard to end things on a high note, really. The endings are always going to be tough.
How about Tom Brady off the field? What type of player, what type of person is he?
Tom is an insane competitor. So I don't care if it's you're playing cards on the airplane, if you're playing wiffle ball in the locker room, if you're shooting baskets, he's always trying to win. So I would say that Tom is number one, most generous, competitive, everything that he can. So it's either if he's going to be the best football player, the best friend, anything, he's going to go all in on that. And I've told this story, but there's two here. I was on an airplane. I was flying back from maybe Miami, and we're playing cards. And I see Tom walk back, and I'm like, I don't want to play with Tom because he's got an in pot. So if the pot grows, he's never going to back out. He's just going to grow and grow. It's just going to get bigger. So when Tom started playing cards, I said to myself, if I can win Tom's money, I'm out, and I'm not playing anymore. So we were playing like Boo-Ray. The pot grew. It was like 1,500, and it was Tom's money, and I won, and I said, I'm done for the day. I'm good. And he looked at me crazy. He's like, you are not stopping. I'm going to win my money back. And I said, Tom, I got $1,500 of your money. I'm going to go buy something with this, you know? And he was so mad, and I could see it, pissed off about it, and I didn't play. I was done because the pot was 25,000. He would have continued, and I'm not that guy. I'm not a gambler like that. We had a small group of guys playing cards, and the pot might have got to $1,000, not 25 or 50,000. That's a drop in the hat for Tom. So that was the only time we played cards. This was a captain's meeting one year, and in the captain's meeting, they go around and they ask, you know, hey, how's the defensive line looking? Oh, they're good. And hey, Tom, how's the quarterbacks? How's the offense? We're good. They go around. And as we're walking out of the building, I look at his watch and I go, man, Tom, that's a nice watch. And it was like a Tag because he had some sponsorship with Tag. I said, hey, you got a guy? Because I'd love to buy that. You know, like, do you got a guy? And he looks at me and he goes, do I have a guy? Of course I have a guy. Think anything of it. Like, that was all I said to him. And the next day, I come in the locker room and there's a brown box on my locker, on my chair. And he had got me the watch, brand new, in a box. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, who does that? It was insane. Like, it was like the most thoughtful things. I just complimented him on his watch. That's all I did. And I had that watch in my locker. Crazy. Just unbelievable. So that's just a small story about Tom. He's he's a very generous, very sensitive. He's an emotional guy. We've seen that before, but that's just the way he really is. He's truly like that in real life. He's gonna be emotional. He's gonna talk to you truthfully, and he's gonna give you everything he's got.
Well, before we let you go, there's somebody that wants to say hello to you. He's the guy that.
Yo, what's up, my guy?
What up, dude? How we
Yo.
doing?
How you been?
I'm good. How you
Hey,
doing?
thank you for joining our show. Thank you for taking the time to talk to Arrow, Jabba, and Speedy. They're great people. I love working with them. I don't know if you didn't know, I'm the PR manager for the show now too. So double work.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank
And
you
we
for
still
having me
can't
on.
get him to get anything on his walls.
Look, me, I'm like, my wife's gonna kill me if she sees that. Like, I literally, this is my own domain. I got like my college helmets. I got all my NFL helmets back here.
You got your man
And
cave.
this is just my space.
Yeah.
I come up. Look at these cleats. These are Super Bowl winning cleats. Still have the confetti stuck on the bottom.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Well,
Isn't that crazy?
Rob,
So I just tell my kids, do not bust that off.
Rob, we had to get you to Fanatics Fest next year or Super Bowl.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do
Sweat
it. I'm
stains
ready.
and all.
Oh, what's that? Nice. I love it. Sweat stains, everything. That's the best.
he also
Oh, wow.
Jabba
That
kept,
is the best.
Jabba kept his underpants too in the World Series too.
I kept everything. They tried. Hey, Rob, when you guys won, did they try to steal your shit?
Dude. So after the Super Bowl, I go in the back room up back to the state. This is after Super Bowl 49. So we played in Arizona, and Arizona's field was terrible. It was super slick, super slimy. They painted the whole field green. There wasn't much grass there. It was crazy. So Bill came in, he mandated, he goes, everybody is putting on their cleats. So these cleats are like long metal studs. When I got back to, this is that helmet. One second. So when I got back to the stadium after we won, this is that helmet, that one. This is the 49.
Oh.
So when I got back to the stadium, I was like, where's all my stuff? Like, where's my pads? Where's my pants? Where's my jersey? They had everybody's stuff in the back, like folded but put away, almost like they were going to sell it or something. So I walked back there. I grabbed my pants, my gloves, my cleats, my helmet, everything. I took it all out. So
They tried to do the same thing. They told us, like, hey, if you want them, like, run this. And so, like, this flag in the background, they only made 2 of them. And Johnny had one, I had the other. They took Johnny's. I had my clubby. I gave him $500 to go put it in the back of my car so they couldn't find it. And this is the only other one that they have. I don't know where the other one at, but this one literally is sitting on my wall.
Well, I don't want to get you in trouble. That's for sure.
This one right here. This is the Super Bowl comeback. This is the comeback jersey. So I still got all my marks on it, and I got all the black paint and everything on it.
All right, stop bragging, Mr. Ninkovich. Stop bragging.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go, Rob.
Hold on. Do you remember the Sanchez fumble? I sacked Sanchez this jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Screw
Sack,
you.
fumble. Sack, fumble.
Screw you, Rob
And I recovered
Ninkovich.
the ball. This is that jersey. Look at that.
You know what? I liked you, and then you had to bring up that story. Thank you.
Oh, God. This
Anyways,
is
Some
Rob,
green on that.
we love you, man, and we'd love to get you on the show again.
Yep.
We definitely would love to get your content. If the Patriots, so called, make the playoffs, let's get you on the show. Let's talk a little Patriots football. I'm sure you have your own take on Drake May, as he's not.
Well, you should check out. Rob has a. Hey, Rob, go plug your show on.
Plug your show. Yeah, plug your show.
Yeah, Rob, plug your show.
Yes. So I got a podcast. It's me and my buddy Dan. So it's the Dan and Ninko show, car dealer in New England. So he had a bunch of car dealers. When I used to use cars from him, we started a show. So we talk about sports, cars, a little bit of everything. We drink beers on the show. It's always fun. We try new beer every episode. Try different beers locally, different brews. So it's a laid back, have a good time. It's a good show, Dan and Ninko show. But I think back to your statement about the Patriots, I think they have a really good perfect storm of a weak schedule and also a down NFL to where, you look at the first 4 weeks of the season, they lost to the Raiders, they lost to the Steelers. Like those two teams they could have easily beat, right? They were beating themselves with penalties, turnovers, the whole thing. So if Drake May can continue to take care of the football, number one, don't turn the ball over, don't throw interceptions, hold on to the ball, right? I think that they're going to have a good opportunity to get into the playoffs. Now, once you get in the playoffs,
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Honestly, it's the most disciplined teams that are able to move on, and the ones that aren't, they usually lose by screwing up a field goal or a time of possession, or
the Jets.
They don't get 3 at the half.
The Jets. The Jets.
So
the Jets.
like kind of like the Jets, but the Jets won't sniff the playoffs this year.
All right, all right, Rob, I'm good here. Thank you for joining the show. I knew it. I knew it. Every time I get a Patriot on this show, they dig it.
You served it up on a platter.
Listen,
Come on.
Listen, I serve a lot of things up on a platter. If you listen to our show, you think your show's crazy? Oh my God, just listen to this one. But we really appreciate the time, man, and we love you, and we definitely want to get you back on the show. So whenever you'd like to come back,
thanks, man.
You bring Dan on the show. We'll go back and forth and argue, just not drink beer. That's we're trying to stay. We're trying to keep it away from beer. We're trying to be a clean cut show. We're trying.
Well, just one light beer is never going to hurt you. It's just
Well, I don't drink. Okay, so
I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Joliet, Illinois.
You're from Illinois. He's from Nebraska. Oh, my God. And we're from New York. Figure that one out. Wonderful. It's just a wonderful combination. But, Rob, you're fantastic. Keep up the good work. I definitely want to get you on the show again. I know Jabba does. So we'll talk off air. And thank you for joining us.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your show.
Rob Ninkovich. He's fantastic. Great interview. Great interview. Gave us so many good takes, told us so many different stories, knows how to hold a conversation.
Great job, guys. Great job. Awesome job. That was awesome.
He's a former Patriot that kind of got under my skin. But nevertheless, I liked it. I can't hate on a person that has a good personality.